Hello everyone, Steve here. We are a bit up and close and personal today. We are going to do some card condition checking. But before we get through that, I'm going to just explain kind of the process I go through, what I do to make things faster, how I look for certain things, what I think is important with grading certain things. I do have videos of all this, what graders look for, corners, centering, surface, etc., etc. Please be aware it is really late at night and I am coming down from having a pretty good day. So we're going to relax. I'm going to check a whole bunch of cards. First thing first, I have this light here. Didn't mean to turn it on. It's really bright, sorry. And it's just a standard light from some office place. I just press the top. It gets lighter and lighter and lighter. 3 settings. So I'll be using that in this video. I will try my best to illuminate the cards, all right? Try my best to make it so you can actually see what's going on. Maybe that's a bit too bright, but please just bear with me. That one right there was perfect. That's 2. Setting number 2. Let's go with that. It's pretty scuffed. So what do I have here? I have a whole bunch of cards. So what I do before, because how do I start this? Okay. I sell a lot of graded cards and I sell a lot of raw cards, but primarily I sell a lot of graded cards. So what I do whenever I get a whole bunch of raw cards in, I either have them sleeved, so these ones aren't sleeved because I know that they're not great condition, but you have them sleeved, and I kind of just thumb through the cards at the start. So I've already picked out all of these, but I usually have a whole bunch of cards that are all together, they're all in sleeves, and I just spread them apart like this, and then by doing that, I can see all the edgeware on the sides of the card, and I can do it on the top as well. I just push with my thumb a little bit, and it can kind of just show the edgeware on the top of all the cards. And you turn the card around, could turn the cards around like a deck of cards, I guess, and you just go push to the side again. And this really helps me speed up the process of like not wasting time thoroughly checking cards that don't really ever have a chance of getting a high grade because they already are showing signs of significant wear. Man, I swear I've already messed up like 10 times in this video. I should just do it again. But I know you guys want to see the cards, so we'll have a look at what these are. These aren't too bad. Some EX cards, there's a Jolteon in there. Now I will say, just because a card has a little bit of play wear doesn't mean that I wouldn't necessarily grade it. Something like, this Victory Medal 2006 doesn't actually look too bad. I think I picked up something. See, I'm doing it already. Oh, there we go. Right there we go. Sorry, right at the top there, you can see a tiny little indent. I got a little screwdriver. Maybe, does this work? I'm not going to press it into the card, but, I'm pointing at with the tip. You see this little indent at the top. Plus, it is hard to see, but there's a bit of edge wear. That's why I've used this black background. Maybe this light's a little bit too heavy. We'll just go with that for now. Maybe that's too heavy for you guys. Hey, give me some feedback. If you like these kind of videos, let me know. This might be a long one. Maybe I'll run out of words in 10 minutes and it will make it a nice short one. So yeah, this is why I didn't grade this card. This card right here, PSA 8, $200, PSA 7, 170, PSA 9, 400-ish, a 10, pretty expensive. So this is the kind of card that I would usually just send out for grading no matter what, because it is kind of expensive. Even if you get a 7, it's still like you get to lock in the 7 price. So I'm going to put this in my 2 grade pile. I'm just going to chuck it in a sleeve real quick just so I don't forget. But that's the kind of card I am looking for when I want to grade cards that might not be in great condition, but are already pretty expensive. Mew EX, it can be like that. If the Mew is in good condition, my head's going to be everywhere with this. I'm going to be trying my best to use the actual camera to kind of look into it, but I'm so used to, always looking down. It's muscle memory. I've done this millions and millions of times. So this is the same thing. We have a little bit of a dent at the top here. So you can see right at the top, it is a little bit folded. Hard to pick up on the camera, but I think you see it. And we got a little bit of black stuff there. So that's a Mew EX. And I don't think that's the kind of card that I would generally grade if it gets played, condition or whatever. We got some Mewtwo's. It's a bunch of other EX cards. All these are cards from my collection I picked up recently. And maybe a few cards from other ones will pop up here and there. I'm not too sure. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff. It's all kind of played, whatever. Nothing crazy. Blastoise EX, definitely one that I would maybe usually send to get a little played. We'll have a look at this. What condition do I think this is in? This is in, I would say... Can you guys see the scratches? Oh, you can barely see them. They're there, though. They're there. There's too many lights, maybe. I'm not too sure. It's really hard. Trust me. I'm trying to show. So we've got a bunch of edge wear around here, bit of a dent crease on there, and there is scratches all the way throughout. You guys can see that there. This long light does make it pretty easy to see all the damage. That's too bright. That's way too bright there. That's perfect. Sorry. Bit of a little bit of a dent here. So if I was selling this, and I will be selling this on my like single card store, this would just be damaged. Nothing too crazy. There was another nice one here, Latios EX from the gift box. This one here, yeah, this is also damaged. You know, a little bit of grime on the bottom. This corner's a little bit folded up. This has just been left in a shoebox and just thrown around a little bit. So this is also damaged. So that's the kind of conditions that I would assess these kind of things. But just because the card, I gotta stop hitting the camera. The camera is really low down. Like, it's not usually this low down for me. So we have two more cards here. Another Blastoise I picked out before the video, just to kind of show that, you know, it has a little bit of, oh man, this is like nearly impossible. You can see at the top here, it just kind of, moves. Oh, that's perfect right there. You can see it right at the top. It's like a tiny little, can I zoom in? Is this way? Nah, it's too zoomed in, unfortunately. I cannot do that for you guys. But yeah, oh, you see how it just lifts just a little bit? Now, I do not think this has a chance at a PSA 10. If everything else with your card is pretty good, you probably still have a chance at a 9. I'm not saying you won't get a 10. I've had cards get 10s with damage just like this before, but this is a nice Blastoise EX. I think it's a very popular card even in this condition. Even if it gets a 7, 8, 9, to me personally, I still feel like grading something like this. Let's have a look at this Ditto card here. This is going to be a long one. I'm so slow when it gets to this. When it gets to showing it off on video and talking about the cards, it's really hard. So this card looks really good all the way around. The only thing I can really say about this is the centering. You know, bottom centering, top centering. You have a little bit of an issue there. Doesn't show too much on the front. And left and right is really, really bad too. But, you know, when I went to the back of the card, I could see just how thin the top border was compared to the bottom border. Because you got such a thick brown at the bottom border and you got such a small top. So that's kind of how I saw that. Little bit of fraying here. This is just kind of like from the cutting. You can see, like, sometimes you can like rub this off with your finger, gets rid of it. I personally wouldn't do that because you just saw I actually just damaged this card a little bit just by pulling that off with my finger. But the difference is, you know, the PSA grader is going to see edge wear or they're going to see the fraying, and it's just unlucky. So I don't actually think this card is in gradable condition, but to me, this is definitely near mint, and I can't believe I just got that on camera. That's kind of funny. It's my fingers. Wash your hands too before you do any sort of checking, because you got like grime and grease on your hands. If you're touching the cards with your thumbs and your fingers, you're gonna leave prints and everything. Don't never touch the hollow of cards. Obviously, that's all pretty straightforward stuff, I would think, for most people. Now, I just got done. Is that English? I just completed making a whole bunch of shelves for my single store to store singles in, etc. All that kind of stuff. And I'll be pretty happy to show those off soon. I got some Cardinal Gaming. He's a really big YouTuber. He has a great video on, oh, it's a nasty crease on this Ludicolo. Look at that right there. Really hard to see, kind of, unless you're using a light like this, where the light will just shine differently as soon as it gets to that kind of level on the card. But yeah, I got this awesome new like IKEA pull-out drawers for my singles, so now we don't have to go into shelves and pull them out of shelves. I'll get like bend over into the shelves to look into things. We got pull-out drawers. We can just pull the cards out and just look at them. It's so awesome. You know, I'll make a video on that soon. I'll show off the little bit of the single store, but that is a work in progress, that kind of thing. So this is a Latias EX. EX Delta species always has huge centering issues, so I try to stay away from it if you can. Let's have a little bit of a water break already. And remember, wipe your hands if you're drinking a can or something, or you're drinking some water, because you don't want to touch the cards with wet hands. This card's in really good condition. I'll definitely, you know, put this in the 2 submit piles. So usually when I'm condition checking, I'll have 5 piles. I'll have grade, check again, near mint, played, damaged. And when I list on my single store, I list them between near mint, played, and damaged. And then I have the definitely grade. I've checked them. I'm happy with it. I don't want to like waste any more time looking at the cards. A lot of modern cards are like that. I just, check them once and I'm happy with them no matter what. But, when I'm doing kind of going through them fast, I'll just be like, okay, I'll check those. I'll send it again. Okay, maybe I got to go through the centering one more time on that. Maybe I got to go through the back. Maybe I got to shine this light one more time over the front. Make sure I'm not missing anything. If the cards are cheap, you should always spend a little bit more time on them. If they're more expensive, you can get away with like not checking them as much because it doesn't really matter. It's a nice card. This is a Latios EX Delta species. Like anyone's gonna buy this in a 7, even 6, 7, 8, 9. This is still sellable. You might not make that much money after grading. You probably make the same amount if you sold it raw, but it's not as much as a risk because you just price the grading fee into the price of the card. And this one's pretty similar to the last one. That's very, very nice condition. And we have another one. And this one is the worst centering out of all of them. It's just really bad. This one probably go down to a 7 on centering. I'm really trying to look for stuff that I can show you guys, but cards are actually really good condition. There is something on the bottom right here. So you gotta make sure. And when you are checking, obviously the black background definitely helps because if this is a white background, it just, stuff just blends in. But yeah, look at that little bit of edge at the bottom there. That is not worth sending. Still a great condition card, still near mint in my mind. But you guys are gonna see the top of my head quite a lot in this video because I need to look at this stuff. I can't see it through the camera that well. So this is a Gardevoir EX. This is from a constructed deck, so it's not as special to get in a 10 as a set pulled card because it's kind of just guaranteed in pretty good condition. And this one's really nice. That's good. And yeah, as always, let me know if you like this kind of stuff. I have been this is a little bit of like a long form video, I guess. We're like 12 minutes in already, and I'm coming back from Japan, getting my stores back to normal again, trying to get up to the speed of things. Bit of edge at the top there, so I'd probably err on the side of caution. And we have something stuck to the card, kind of like right there. Do you see that right at the tip of my thing? Yeah, it's just kind of there. It'll probably come off if I use my nail or something like that. I'm not going to grade this card, but yeah, I did just get that off my nail. That's perfectly fine. If you do that, you must like kind of clean your residue of your fingerprint or something, because is it going to show my fingerprint? No, it's not, but I can see it in person, a little bit of my fingerprint actually smudging onto the card there. And you don't want to send that with the card. They might mistake that for actual damage. But most of this card is pretty good, but it's got too much edge around the top for me. Great centering though. Amazing centering. And a little bit at the top here. You can kind of see. Can I zoom in again? I really want to use the zoom. I need to, play with the ISO settings, I think, when I'm doing zoom like that. I can just pull it closer. So you can see the way this top border goes. Now this is like not as important. But if you pause the video, right, and zoom in somehow, you can see this top border kind of go like, how do I explain it? It's like a little bit of like a W or like an M. You can see right at the tip of the thing right here. I'm really trying with this one. I'll probably just move to the next card, but oh, there you go. To shine the light on it, you can see just those two little things right there. It kind of like a little W, upside down M, whatever you want to see. That's a little bit of edge and damage on the card. And, that's not kind of stuff that you might think they care about, but when the graders are looking at these cards, they have them in loops and they're so deep inside and like they're ready to look at every single thing and they can see all the little things. Now, PSA, I don't know. I don't work for PSA. I don't know how their grading process goes. But I know CGC and I know Beckett definitely loop like almost every card, if not every card. If they can't see anything, obviously, they will go through it with, you know, the zoom features and they'll go a little bit crazy. This is a Dragonite Delta species, not gradable. It's got a little bit of edge all around. So that's an easy one. Another Gardevoir on the plate. I can see something a little weird already that I don't like. I don't know how to explain. I can't see it on the camera. I think it should be fine. You gotta remember these cards, they're old, man. 2006. I mean, that's a gradable condition card. I'm happy with that one. Nothing wrong with that. Flygon EX, yeah, immediately you can see a whole bunch of Edger at the top. Edger at the bottom. No good. That's probably like a played condition. Taurus EX. There are a whole bunch of scratches and, you know, edge wear around this card, but I can kind of see. Does it show on the front? No, it doesn't. No, I was trying to show something, but I couldn't. Oh, this is a good one. Charizard level X. These are so hard to check. Oh, there's automatically something I can see. So you can see this little bump here. I'm trying my best to show this off. It's just at the left, right? Just look for the left of my little tool here. Yeah, right there. You see that little bump? That bump, it's not like a dent. It's not damage. It's just part of the foil process for this type of card. You know, with this starry glossy foil. I'm actually going to sleeve this one up because I'm pretty sure this card's in good condition. And I'm just playing with it like it's nothing. But, sorry, this is actually an expensive card. I don't want to be a little bit silly. And unsleeve, use it. So usually when I'm checking expensive things, I'll always like keep it in the sleeve and just slide it out. And then do this. Keep it all the way in the sleeve. Don't try to touch it too much or handle it. Just always like move it around the sleeve. Yes, this has a bit of edge wear down the bottom. PSA 9, Charizard G level X. I'm still really happy. Definitely a gradable card in my mind. Advent of Arceus Himeno Charizard. A great one. Bit of scratches. You can see right there, tip of my finger. Still worth submitting, I think. You know, PSA 10s aren't perfect cards. This card, can you see the card stock? I know it's like, it's not, you know, it's not perfect, but if I do this, if it focuses on something else, I might be able to show you guys. This card stock, the card isn't flat. Right here, where my tool is, I guess, this is scuffed, right? But right here where my tool is, the card is actually, you know, not flat. It's a little bit wavy, and that kind of does show a little bit sign of like bending or creasing. Now, this isn't just normal like hollow curl or something like that, but I actually do think this card has like a crease / bend in it. I can feel it with my fingers very easily as well. And, you know, I won't be grading this because I feel like this card's kind of like, you know, been like this before. Like way too much pressure on this side, way too much pressure on this side, and it's bent it. So this one I will be selling as a raw card, and we will not be moving forward with you. This one's the same as the Charizard level X. This one's in really good condition as well. It's a bit off-centered. You know, you can see the top border immediately is a lot thicker. I don't care too much about centering, especially back centering, but the grading companies care, so I kind of have to care. Oh, I hope my voice sounds good on this. I think we'll go to, oh my god, we're 19 minutes in. Oh, what do we got here? I'll pick out a few more good cards. I thought I'd be able to do like heaps. Lugia EX. Now this card does have a little bit of a bend in it, but it's a Lugia EX from Unseen Forces. Well, Golden Sky, Silvery Ocean, you know. We are going to grade that one. That card was definitely played. That card will get a 6. You'll see that card in submission come back, and I'll be like, oh my god, I got a 6. But yeah. This one right here, I don't know what this is. It's got a little bit of a thing going on the top right corner. You can see my nail's so dirty. I'm sorry for that. Oh man, I just saw myself like in the camera reflection. I look so stupid. Oh, this one this one does it have a dent in it? That was an optical illusion, I think. Oh, I think it's it's the shadow from the camera lens. My lord. But yeah, this one I'm gonna put in the, second guess pile. When I'm off camera, I will have a better look at this because these, Jolteon EX, Vaporeon EX, all these cards are definitely worth grading, and I don't want to just chuck it to the side. Just because, what's going on with this one? Is there any edge wear? Yeah, a bit of edge wear top right here. Top right, not really that great. Still near mint, but not really worth submitting in my mind. This card looks like it has a crease. I don't know, is it just the cardstock? So you see this light, right? This light that I have here is completely flat. And right there, where is it? Right there, you can see how just above my finger. Oh man, it's so hard to show it. It's so subtle, and there is a bend that goes through the card. Like where I'm putting this thing here, it's like right here I'm showing it. There is a bend, and my light doesn't, the light doesn't go through its natural path like it normally does. It's not, this is a very small crease. Don't get me wrong. This is a very, very light bend. Very, very small crease. And I honestly I don't think this is a crease. This is like a bend. But I don't think it would normally, anyone would actually see this. Even graders, I mean, they're only human, right? I'm inhuman. I'm not human when it comes to checking cards like this. I don't usually check cards this hard, to be honest. I won't actually lie to you. But you see the light, and it goes through the card very easily. Gets to this little point here and kind of stops. Because it's like, oh, there's like a point. It's like a point of no return. The light's like, it's like going uphill. Like shining a flashlight uphill. It won't, hit the other side until it's like gone over the hill. But yeah, that's definitely something fishy there. But most of the cards are pretty clean. I do think we're going to submit this. And if we get a 6, I'm just right. If we don't get a 6 and I get a 10, well, I got a 10. I can't lose, can I? There we go. Usually what I'll do, I'll grab the card. I have my light that spans across the whole card. And it'll just keep hitting this camera. I'll kind of just like go through the whole thing. Because I've already kind of pre-checked these a little bit. Because I took out all the ones with excessive edge wear or excessive this, excessive that. So I'm spending more time on my good ones because I just took out all the bad ones, I guess. And this one does have a bit of edge around the top right, but it is a ground on EX. No scratches on the hollow that I can see. So I'll submit one of those. Sorry. Hiccups from my water. What do we have here? So this one, oh no, I can feel a sneeze coming on. This is bad. Have I ever sneezed on camera before? Oh, I'm like wishing it away and it's like going away. All right, this is the same as the last one, just a tiny bit of wear on the top right there. That's not going to stop me. This Groudon EX is roughly like a $50 to $100 card. I did have a look. Might be a little bit less if the conditions are bad, but these conditions are really nice. PSA 10 is not that crazy to get, and I would be crazy to not at least give these a try. Now, I will say, the more liquid capital you have and the more money you have, the easier it is. Because you can take way more chances on grading than most other people. Like me in particular, I can send like 100 cards away that I don't think that are that much of a chance to get a 10. And if they all get 9s and I sell them, I break even. And all the money's tied up for that little bit, but it's not that big of a deal for a guy like me because I've been doing this for a long time. That's perfectly fine. But, the average person, the average submitter really can't take those like wild chances. And this one I'm not going to take a chance on. It's got way too much edge wear at the top there. But I don't mind sending cards. That's why they see some of my submissions come back, and there are a lot of cards that do come back in 9. And I've kind of just chanced them because I'm willing to risk the $15 for the PSA 10 upgrade, as that is the best use of those funds for me. Another edgeware. There's like 5 spots across the top. We won't send that. We are silly, but not that silly. So this is the same thing here. Just a little bit of dirt. And a little bit of scratches around that E. Sometimes you can just get your fingernail and slightly... I just got rid of that. There is a little bit of debris there. So I don't have a... I don't have my microfibers anywhere close. But, you know, sometimes you just scrape it up just a little bit. If it's a really expensive card, definitely not. Like Q-tip, and very, very lightly dab it. Like very little water. No water at all, pretty much. And you just want to rub that away. But don't scratch it off. But if it's like a cheap card, it's perfectly fine. And this one's already got a bit of edgeware, so it's not going in. Let's have a look at this Kangaskhan. Is that a double swirl? There's one swirl there and another swirl on that side. That's kind of crazy. See, I kind of like touched this card. Right there, you can see that's my fingerprint. I'll do it again. Maybe not. Can you see that? No, I don't know. I touched this card and there is a fingerprint like right there. It might not be my fingerprint, to be honest, because I'm not leaving any fingerprints. But look at my hand. Oh my god. That's from my cats. They're so funny. This Kangaskhan is not too bad. I'm going to put this in the check again pile. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, like a long kind of checking video. I'm just going to check through some of these cards. Let me know which ones you want to see. So we got this print line through this Delcatty, right? Obviously, we're not going to submit something like that. It's just got a nasty print line through, unless it was expensive. I'll put these Dragonites to the side. I want to pull out some like really good cards, just because they're a little bit more meaningful. Wow, these look so good on the camera. You guys have no idea. Oh, Espeon EX, definitely. And you know, when I am sifting through, because usually when I'm checking and the cards that are actually good, I sleeve them all up. Because maybe I might not check all those cards at the same time. I want to have them sleeved up so I can just put them away easily and get to them another time without like having to unsleeve or re-sleeve or any other things. But for the sake of the video, I kind of have these sitting out unsleeved. Very silly. Oh, there's a gold star Latios right there. 2 Gengars, and that's it. We'll go with that. So you want to be really, really gentle when you're playing with the cards. If you ever need to pick a card up, I highly suggest doing this. You know, you get a sleeve. You either don't have to do anything, or you slide it underneath. But I usually like kind of like put a little bit of pressure on like the top left. You see how I'm like just press it slightly. It'll raise the card upwards, and the sleeve will just pick it up. Don't put any pressure on. Have the sleeve around the right way. It'll make you look way better for people. And then you just slide it in there. You don't want to be grinding the card up against the sleeve. You just want to push it in. That's easy. I mean, I know... Oh my god, my nose is so itchy all of a sudden. Oh. Sorry, a bit of a stretch. Let's stretch first before we keep going. I know sleeving might not seem like some crazy thing. This card's actually damaged. I'll take this out of sleeve. But just proper techniques of... Like, proper techniques of trying to avoid further damaging any cards in any way, or just ruining the chances of, like, you know, hitting a fabled gem in 10. So we got this awesome Gengar Mirage Forest centering, great, not that amazing condition. This is the kind of card that I would just submit. Borderline 9-10 I would submit all the way down to like heavily played, and this card's a great condition and I'm really happy with that. Not much more to really show there. We have the other one here. Let me see if I can find anything. I wonder if my voice sounds like really bad if I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up. Oh, there we go, right there. See, these Japanese cards, they're so... I sound so Australian right there. So hard to see because, you know, you move it like that with a little bit of light. Can't see that edgeware and it's there. But, you know, that's really not that bad. To me personally, in a card like this, that's like, you know, a few $100, $1 edgeware. I think there's another one down the bottom. You can just see them there. This kind of card, in this condition with this amazing front, big swirl, PSA 9 is always going to sell more than Near Mint Raw. It's always going to sell for way more, and it's going to sell way faster, and you're going to have way less issues and way less people asking for pictures. So we've got a double swirl on this Latios Gold Star. What's the condition of this? It's a Gold Star, right? So it's just worth submitting no matter what. But this one's actually really good. I mean, it's got a rough cut on the top there. And usually this happens. It's not always a rough cut, but like you put the card in the binder, it just sits in the top. Maybe every time you take it out, you rub it a little bit with your finger. Maybe it just sits there over time and debris settles in. But wow, look at that hollow pattern. That's actually crazy. So we will definitely put that in the submit your lights out category. 30 minutes. Oh my god, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Look at this. Awesome looking Dragonite EX. So first of all, centering's kind of scuffed on this card. Edgeware at the top. But this is a Dragonite EX. And having popular cards in pretty good condition on your store is really important. Now, whether I put this on my single store or the graded store, if I got a PSA 8, I think, you know, I could probably get more for it PSA 8. I'm always about maximizing value. Because obviously, maximize value, you get more money, you can buy more stuff, you know? Sometimes it's not always about money, but like, no one's out there giving me deals on me buying their stuff to get more cards, right? So you have to kind of maximize yourself. This card is a little bit too much to grade, I think, edgeware around the whole thing. I do think back in the day, this would probably get PSA 10, judging on, you know, how crap they used to be with Japanese cards. But I didn't spin any cards back then. I didn't spin any Japanese cards back then, at least. I wish I did. But, yeah, sorry, buddy, you are not getting submitted to the fabled PSA. I do think that's near mint. I do think that's like, let me say, it's PSA 7 near mint. It's not near mint by like my standards, but that's PSA 7 near mint. I love this card with like the Ninetales eyes in the back. It's actually insane. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. Oh, that came out of nowhere. I think that's time to call it. 32 minutes in. Oh, what was it? 3:20 a.m. Oh my god. That is really late. So this card's obviously played, right? Don't need to see much on that. I really hope this kind of video helps you guys. What I'm looking for, how deep I'm going, what reasonings behind it. I'm gonna put this one in have another look. It does have a bit of edgeware at the top, but yeah, like I said, yeah, I am always happy to help. If you have a card you want to submit, send it to me on Instagram. You know, send some photos. If you're in Australia and you really want some help, I do offer it to some people sometimes, but they send me the cards. I check them. I kind of like, you know, I might go on like on the sleeve or on the card sleeve or on the back, and I'll like circle where I think the damage is, and it does help them. But I don't just do that for just anyone. You kind of have to be someone that, I'm not saying you have to be anyone, but, you know, be like nice to me, I guess, or be like not just trying to use me. Or if I know that you're doing good things for other people, I wouldn't mind helping you out. I hope that makes sense. This Espeon EX, absolutely beautiful. I will say, that card was like out of the world. Plus this one looks so good. I'm trying my best. So the way I handle them, I'm just like making sure the tips of my fingers are the only thing holding this card together. Like, I'm not touching this card with this finger right here, the one I'm moving. I'm like resting the edge on the finger, and I'm using these two fingers, these ones right here that I'm pushing together, to push that into there to hold the card. I'm not like pressing it in any places, because I do not want to get any sort. I see people handle their cards and they touch them so much. So what's going on with this one? How about we have a look at it? This card is fucking beautiful, mate. That's bloody beautiful. That is nice. That is nice. That is, you call that a knife? Is there no edgeware whatsoever? Wow. Okay, we got to get this baby sleeved up. I cannot believe we unsleeved this card and put it in bulk for the sake of a video. I'm so sorry. but that's why we handle the cards with care. First edition requires a Delta species. Only chance is getting submitted if it is proper gem mint. With everything weighed against it, it has centering issues, but I think we can score a PSA 9 on this bad boy. The centering is so bad. We've got 3 more to show. It's hard to do this fast. What I recommend, if you're doing some condition checking and you are sending to PSA, do some pre-grades. Write down pre-grades. Write down what you thought was wrong with the card. This card here has a whole bunch of tiny little indents at the top, so we're not sending this to grade. Write down some pre-grades. Write down what you think is wrong with the cards. It doesn't matter if it's 5, 10, 15 cards. Try to get a little bit better. They are experts. And if they're not experts at the grading companies, if you don't think they're experts, you think they're just idiots or whatever, they are the mean. They are the average. They are what we need to be at. So kind of have to change your standards to whatever they expect. Sometimes it's hard to do that because it's a bit hit and miss. This has some little edgeways at the front there, and it has a little bit of a debris right on the thing. So I don't have anything. Usually a bit of tissue paper, toilet paper. You don't want to be touching this with your finger. Because like, you know, if I rub that off with my fingernail and I scratch the silver part, if this card was gem mint, that would not be ideal. That would definitely not be ideal. So I've got a bit of edgeware down the bottom here already, but I'm going to get some toilet paper. Definitely try to run that off and submit this one, because this one's actually pretty good. So this one I'll put in the check again pile. And we'll go with one last Dragonite EX, shall we? I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I love doing any videos, to be honest. If I can sit down here and just talk about my cards, talk about cards in general, and then help a few people out, it doesn't bother me, you know, 3 AM or not. But see you guys next time. If this video does go up before my new Ask Steve, go and watch it. Ask some questions. Let's get a little bit of a dialogue going, you know, to help each other out. Help me get my brain working so I learn how to speak properly. But, you know, big thanks to Steve's tool in this one. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.